Hello and welcome, beautiful people. My name's Campbell. This is Spiral Up, where we talk about practical things you can use to improve your life and experience. And today I have with me Peter, who I've actually known for, 5 or 6 years now, probably, Peter. And Peter is a sales sage. He doesn't sell herbs. He's a sage of selling. So we're going to talk about action and, of course, selling. This is as far as, selling yourself, selling your services, and basically bringing value is really what selling is, bringing value to the wider community. And with all that's going on in the world at the moment, we all sort of need to look at alternatives and look at, looking after our own source of income, because, I don't need to say much more than that, I don't think. So welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Campbell. It's been a long time since we've had a good chat together, and yeah, we have known each other. I think it's 5 years, right?
Yeah, it must be. Yeah.
Wow, time goes too quickly, mate. Time goes too quickly.
It does.
Anyway, it changes the theme, right?
Yep. So yeah, we're going to talk about change, taking action, and all that kind of stuff. So.
For anyone who's watching, who is in business, you may not like what I'm going to say to you, right? But if you are in business, believe it or not, you're also in sales. Because if you don't sell anything, you haven't got a bloody business. Excuse the French, right? So therefore, you need to be able to offer your services in a way that fits with your personality. Okay, you don't want the gold chain hanging around your neck with the fast-talking Saturday afternoon used car salesman approach. That's last century stuff, right? But what you need to take action in a way that empowers people to do three things. One, to resonate with you. If they don't resonate with you, then they're not going to be able to understand and appreciate you. So if they resonate with you, then they can learn to respect you. And if they learn to respect you, then they can be inspired by you. And those three things are the key actions that any person in business needs to focus on. Don't focus on smarty pants ways of trying to close a sale. Campbell, I hate that word, closing a sale, quite frank. I really don't like it, okay? To me, it's all about helping a person to achieve what's in their best interests. And you need to take action on a consistent basis if you're in business, and do that ethically. Does that make sense?
Definitely. And it's a good point that you need to, be selling something that is ethically, aligned with you, that you believe in. Because I think too many people run around and they'll just sell anything, for the money, trying to close the sale. But, that's obviously, sort of a bit of a false dichotomy where you're just really trying to get money out of people rather than to help them and find solutions.
Yeah. And that's pretty darn sad, really, because you can do it. There's especially online, Campbell, right? There is so many charlatans online, unbelievable, right? Yeah. And yeah, I could call myself a sales coach if I wanted to, but you know what? That automatically get people to buttonhole me in a box. This guy's, I don't want to talk to him because he's going to pitch me something for sure, right? Because the biggest problem with sales is the word sales, all the connotations that hang off it, right? And that's why I still use the word sales, because I'm proud of it. I am proud to show people how to do things ethically. I'm proud to show people how to inspire other people to empower their customers to make the best decisions for them. All right? And this is the bit that really makes people think. If you do the right thing with the customer, Campbell, right? And you really, in other words, you clarify for them what are their key requirements right now. Okay? First of all, you're doing a great service by doing that, because many people don't have a clue. They're not really sure what they want. Okay? But if you can help them do that, then work with them and collaborate with them to make the best buying decision for them. As a business person, you can't lose. You really can't lose. Because either you get yourself a new client, a new customer, or if they decide in the best interest of them with your help and support that your product or solution is not the right thing, they've still appreciated the service you've given them and you've got an advocate. So what? You've got a customer or an advocate. If you do it right, you can't lose.
Mm.
And that bit escapes most people who are in sales. Does that make sense? To them, it's just getting the sale, getting the money. That's it.
Mm. And that's how it's portrayed as well. If you go and get a job as a salesman, you know, the training they give you, it's not about, you know, sort of becoming, you know, more of you and really focusing on the customer and how you can help and what you can give. It's all focused on, like you said before, close the sale. And that's all, you know, like hoodwinking really, isn't it? It's all, you know, sort of glossing over things, showing customers what they want and forgetting about, you know, the bad stuff and just the sell. And when you do that, you end up with the opposite of an advocate. You know, if it goes wrong, which it does, you know, statistically, it's going to go wrong. What, half the time, people are going to be a bit unsatisfied at least. And then, yeah, like you said, more. Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot more. And then you've got people saying, you know, don't go to that car dealership; they'll rip you off. You know.
Right. And you know, for anyone who's watching this, if you're in business, please don't be put off by the moniker of sales. When you think sales, spell it SERVE, right? Not SELL. Think serve, not sell. That is the bit. You need to get your head around that mindset around that.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, then you're in a position to provide a service to people that they appreciate. And you know what, Campbell? You will help them, you'll clarify what they really want in life, and be quite frank, they'll thank you for the process, whether they become a customer or not. And that means that your whole approach to selling, for want of a better word, right, can change overnight if you're prepared to do it. The problem is when people get desperate, Campbell, they just got to close the sale because they need to put bread on the table. They need to satisfy the boss, whatever it is. So they do anything that they can, boom, 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 to get the sale, right? That is shortcut way to disaster. That's all I'm saying to you.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. It happens.
About that. Sorry,
yeah,
Campbell.
It happens so often though. You know, when people have something to lose, you know, especially people that invest money, you know, into a business, and they've got a lot of skin in the game, and it happens a lot. I mean, it happens way too often online, you know, with, you know, products that can be 10, 20 grand, a lot of them, but definitely, you know, 3, 4, 5 grand, and people invest it. And the problem is these people are just selling products. You know, there's no backup. And so it's fine to have a product, but unless you have an audience and people that you can go to, or at least people that you can, you know, bring into your audience, then you've got nothing, because selling is about having a customer. You know, you've got to have the people right at the other end. And if you've invested money and those sales aren't coming, I mean, you see it all the time. People just, you know, get more and more and more desperate and more pushy and more trying to close, and that just you know, that pushes them away from their goal. I mean, so what do you think about that? About this whole? I mean, it's really the lack, isn't it? It's a mindset of lack, and that they don't have, you know, what they need, and so yeah, it comes from lack, I think.
Yeah, it's a mindset of being needy, right?
Yeah.
Being needy, being greedy,
and greedy, yeah.
That comes across, and it's not what it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? That's the whole point of it, right? And really, I mean, for people, to help people, and I'm not trying to make this Alice in Wonderland stuff, because you've got to work hard, right? There's no doubt about that. But you don't work hard at the expense of people. That's my point, all right? what you need to do, if people are watching this, I'll give you one really good clue. The most important action you should take every single day is to make a memorable moment for everyone you come in contact with. A memorable moment. Go out of your way to make it a memorable moment. Okay. If you do that, you're on the right direction.
Yeah. And it doesn't need to be anything huge, does it? I mean, it can just be a smile,
No.
you know, a well done, you know, just anything that'll make anything. And unfortunately,
as long as it's
anything out of the ordinary, isn't it? Like a smile, you know, that's unfortunately a bit out of the ordinary these days is, you know, tell people they're doing well.
Well, we haven't got all day to talk about this. This is the topic we spent a week on, right? But basically, if you can, if you can make people, I've got a sales coaching call soon, mate.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Notice I said sales coaching, right?
Yeah.
If you have a mindset of serving people, a mindset of creating memorable moments with people, okay, that at every step, and to me, I don't call it a sales process, be quite frank, because that's all me, right? If you're in business, you should be developing not a sales process, or the other common thing, not a sales funnel. If you heard about that sales funnel, right?
Yes, yeah.
That's all me. What you should be focusing on is the customer's buying journey and making every step of that memorable and remarkable. If you do that, then you are going to get to the point without too much effort at all. If you are ethical and consistent and honest and also transparent and vulnerable, show them you've made mistakes. Be prepared to admit, hey, I really didn't do that very well before. I made that mistake before. You want to build rapport and resonance, that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Right? Because people can't relate to some guru. People need to relate with people. People need to resonate with people. So the action steps you need to take is to share with people the fact that you are ordinary, right? But you are also extraordinary because you've overcome some of the challenges they've got. So they can see both sides of you. Does that make sense?
Definitely. Yeah, we need, you know, I mean, you need to be true to yourself, really, don't you, is what it is. And yeah, just speak the truth. I mean,
but have the intestinal fortitude. Sorry.
No, you go.
Have the intestinal fortitude to share. I'm sorry, this is passionate for me. Sorry, Campbell.
Okay.
Have the intestinal fortitude to share total honesty and transparency. None of this faking it till you make it business. Well, let me put it another way. People who have scripts, and there's a lot of people make a lot of money out of selling scripts, right? Let me share one sentence with you, Campbell. You cannot script sincerity.
Yeah, I agree.
Think about that.
Yeah, I agree totally.
If you are building a relationship with a person and helping them from your heart, genuinely from your heart, right? Trying to help them and empower them to make the right decision. You don't need a script. You just got to listen.
Which is a good point, you know. So many people don't listen enough. And there's that saying, right? We've got 2 ears, 1 mouth, use them in that proportion. You know, because, and this is the sales bit, isn't it? People, when they think of it as sales, trying to close a sale, it's like, they're just yelling what they think are benefits at the people. Oh, and this, but they're not listening to what the person wants. You know, so if the person's
not only that, they're not listening. But even if they are listening, they're jumping in at every opportunity, like I just did with you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Sincere apologies, right?
Salesy, God, I'm out here.
Oh my God. What I'm getting at is this: when people express something, they think, here's my in. I can sell my stuff with that, right? What they don't realize And I was a perfect case in point of doing the wrong thing with you. So there, I'm vulnerable. I can make mistakes, right? What you need to realize and appreciate that you need to earn the right to ask people questions, right? You need to earn the right, because privacy is very important these days. I mean, who in the hell are you, Peter Beckenham, for God's sake? But all they want to know is, what can you do for me? Don't come around here trying to tell me what I should do. I'm not interested in that. I don't care how long you've been in business, how much money you've made, or whatever. They're not the slightest bit interested. They're only interested in what you can do for them, but they won't tell you until you earn the right to do it.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay?
No.
And the way you earn the right to do it is to be a giver. You need to give and give and give, right?
Yep.
Not sell and sell and sell, but give value. Help them in any way you can, and they will come back to you when they are ready, all right? Not when you want them to, because the idea, last century stuff, was how to persuade and convince people. That doesn't work anymore, okay?
No.
What you need to do is empower people, as I said before, and let them make the decision when it suits them. If you do that often enough, you will have plenty of people to talk to, and plenty of satisfied, excited advocates and customers.
Yeah, definitely. So what are your thoughts on building like an audience? I mean, this is obviously something that's come out of social media, I guess, really more. I mean, I guess, it was kind of in the MLM kind of circuit, but this whole sort of building an audience first, as far as what's the word, like an audience that's on a defined topic, and then bringing products to them, because that's happening a lot now. And the way I look at it is, you've got to sort of, it's sort of doing it in reverse, isn't it? It's like, first you put yourself out there and you let people know who you are and what you're about, and you sort of build up an audience, and then you can start promoting things to that audience. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, a lot of thoughts there. First of all, it's very difficult for people to put themselves out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Some of my, to me, my clients are my family. Right? They are part of my coaching family, and many of them are ladies. And these ladies are really good at what they do, but they just cannot put themselves out there in any way, shape or form, because they feel embarrassed about things when it comes to someone saying, well, how much do you charge? And well, how do they answer those? All this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's quite difficult. It's quite difficult, right? So what you need to do is, as long as you believe in yourself and you believe in the transformation that you can give to people, right? Don't worry about the price situation. Leave that out of it, okay? And by the way, price should be associated with transaction items, like buying a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. If you're transforming people, that's completely different. And therefore you're entitled to earn more, because it's going to take a lot more effort. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And it gives more benefit, than a cup of tea, doesn't it?
Of course it does. So the challenge is, to get back to your original question was, do you need to build an audience? Yes, you do. And the way you can do it is via giving value, as I alluded to earlier. The platforms you can use, like Campbell, you use very successfully, for example, YouTube, right? Okay. I'm on YouTube, but I can never get it the way you go. You're brilliant at it. Okay. But I've done, I don't know, I can't remember, 780 live broadcasts on social media. That's what I do. And in those live broadcasts, I'm not saying you should do that either. I'm just giving an example, right? In those live broadcasts, all I do is identify in my head what would be the major challenges, concerns of people that I can help and transform, and talk about it. And I only talk about it for maybe 5 or 6 minutes, because in these days on social media, everyone's got ADD, right? They don't have much of an attention span.
Yeah.
Okay. And what I do is I encourage people and I challenge people to think these things through, and I keep it very simple. You know me, Campbell, I'm not very complicated, right?
Yep.
To keep things simple, and then if they need help with that, then reach out to me rather than me reaching out to them.
Yep. Yep.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So
Yeah.
one way is by video because it's powerful, you know. But another way is by text. Another way is by audio. You might have a podcast or you might have a blog. It doesn't matter as long as you're giving value and you're building an audience by the value that you give.
Yep.
Some takes longer than others, right? Or you can do it quickly by advertising and paying for it, etc. Right? But then you've got to still build the personal relationships within the people that you've got. Okay. And as I said before, you can't script sincerity. You've got to be fair income. All right. That's the amount of it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely.
I don't know whether I answered your question.
I think you did.
I don't know.
But yeah, sales has changed. I mean, dramatically. I think even in just, the last 20 months, all these gurus that were everywhere seem to, I don't know. I'm not seeing them as much, but I'm seeing all these dodgy ads. These have you seen these? Elon Musk has just, bought into this, investment. Come and see what it is. And they show news clips in the background, and then they just voice over it.
Yeah.
And I see them on YouTube,
Yeah.
and I'm just thinking that is a complete scam. It's a complete and
absolutely a scam.
And
absolutely a scam.
So this is another thing is, I think, if people see it on YouTube, especially as a running ad in a video, that they kind of give it a bit of validity, don't they? And so this is another thing we've really got to be, I guess it comes back to knowing what you want. It's so many people just want money, right? It's like, what do you want? What's your future? What do you want? And then it's just money, money, money. And if that's all you want, then you're just going to go for something that you think is going to give you money. But we all know, right? People do this all the time. They end up with money, with something they don't like. They don't like their life, or most of the people just end up with no money because they spend into a course, do nothing. So how much do you think people should spend on themselves? Do you think that's a process? If people are in business or are looking to get in business, do you think the process starts with what you want to achieve, what your lifestyle is, like long term, rather than just sort of, probably just answered the question.
Yeah, but you are a very, very smart man. You know the answer to this question already, right? But I'm going to give it to you.
Good.
If you are thinking about starting in business, or even if you have started in business, if the reason you're running a business is money, then you're dead in the water. Sooner or later, you're going to stop, right? Boom. What you need is something that gets you out of bed. You need a why. Why are you in business? Okay? Why are you in business? This is so important. Okay? I mean, for me, my why are the kids in this village. I mean, I don't need to be online doing my sales sage work with business people. I mean, I love it with a passion, but I don't need to do it, except I use the fees to help educate the kids in the village. That's my why. Because I see them leaving school at 10 and 11 and 12 years of age and going to work in the rice fields. And it's a vicious cycle of darn poverty, right? So that's my why. But everyone, I mean, it's nothing special, but it's what works for me. But if you haven't got a why in your business, then really, if you're just looking for money, you know what? You're going to be desperate sooner or later, because sooner or later, you're going to hit the wall. Everybody does, right? I can't remember the story about Colonel Sanders. Didn't he try 1,000 times to get someone to buy his chicken, whatever it was? I can't remember that story.
Yep.
So he ran into a lot of brick walls, right? But he finally got there. The thing is, when you run into this brick wall, if you haven't got a why in place, you're not going to get over the wall.
Exactly. Yeah,
I think you're not going to get over the wall. The wall's too damn high.
I think you either have a why or you have an excuse, don't you? Because you're either kidding yourself or you're not. You know, like so many
Yeah,
people.
but we're talking about taking action, Campbell,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
theme of our talk today.
definitely.
And if you want to procrastinate, then you're not taking any action at all. You're just using an excuse, right?
Yeah, it's excuses. Yeah, and people run into what's the word? Things in front of them. Blockages and that to go forward. And a lot of people use that as an excuse to quit. That's when your why comes into it, isn't it? You've really got to sort of then go back to your why. So it's really more about, you have to sort of become the person first, don't you, before you get into all this kind of thing? Because I guess it comes back to, you can't sell yourself and what you stand for if you don't know who you are and what you stand for.
And what you believe in and what you're prepared to stand up for, right?
Mm.
I mean, if you're selling knives and forks, right, then it's not that important. But we're talking about a different level of quote unquote selling. We're talking about helping people make an informed decision that will be that is, I mean, it's a reasonable investment that the customer's asked to make, not $5 purchase. It doesn't, because that doesn't mean anything, right? So you need to know where you're going in life. You need to know what you stand for. You need to know what gets you out of bed in the morning, because when you hit that wall, Campbell, and I will guarantee you, you're going to hit it. Okay. I mean, I hit it many, many times. I'm going to hit one again for sure. And I'm oldie. I'm still going to hit it again, right? But these are 3 questions that are in your head that never, ever go away. They're covered over by success, right? But when all of a sudden, when the success starts to dribble away a bit, or you're not getting as many customers as you hoped before, in other words, the brick wall comes, 3 things come into your head. 1, right? Am I doing the right thing? Ooh, I don't know, right? Am I doing the right thing? Where's your why? The why's going to answer that question for you, right? 2, am I doing things right? And 3, why is this happening to me? These 3 questions will hit you right between the eyes every time you hit a brick wall. And if you can't answer those questions with your why, you're not going to get over that wall. You're going to stop. There'll be no more action taking place. And you might as well go back to grandma's place and have a cup of tea with her.
Yep, definitely. It's all about perspective, really, isn't it? It's like you can see things as obstacles, and you can see, mistakes as mistakes, or you can see a mistake as a mistake, something that okay, take 2, take 3, just like the movies. And you can see obstacles as learning, as a place to grow and learn. And so it's really all the way, I think in the end, it really comes back to, the base sort of what's in your the self-image in your subconscious mind of, can you or can't you? Because we all make excuses, and really our mind sits there and it just tries to prove us right all the time, doesn't it? It's like that saying, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. So, and this is what gets skipped over. So, because we see all this selling stuff, and it seems, for the last 20 years, it's just the new thing, right? Get online and make your millions and follow this course and do this and make this funnel, but it's all built on nothing. And so if people have a base belief of, well, they're not going to make it, I think that's what really needs to be worked on first. In my opinion, what do you think? I mean, or do you think it's better to once you know that, to use a business or whatever to help you grow? Is that a way to do it? Maybe
you can do it. You can do it simultaneously. All I'm saying is you need to have your bit right. Okay.
Yeah.
Without that, the business is not going to work. But you can do both at the same time. And I just wanted to focus on the personal side, because this is, I mean, we're talking action taking, right?
Action.
And if you're not, I mean, you can take a lot of action, but if you're going in the wrong direction and taking the wrong action, all you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot, right? Yeah. What's the point of it? Okay. And I mentioned the brick wall aspect, but here's another thing that I think people should realize. Okay. when they are talking to a customer, let me just go back a step. 3 E's. 3 E's. If you're watching this and you're running a business and things aren't working well for you, examine 3 E's. 1, the way that you engage with people. And I mentioned earlier about creating memorable moments, right?
Yeah.
Engagement. The second thing is educate. Not sell, educate. And educate means you are prepared to show them what's going on right now in the community, in the world, etc., and tell them the darn truth. And that also you can show the benefits of your product if you want to, but also show the shortfalls. Be honest, right? So engage, educate, and then empower. In other words, enable and help the person to make the right decision for themselves. As I said before, right? They're the 3 E's. If you do that right with the right mindset, your business is going to be set up for a pretty good start. But the other thing is this: when you're talking to customers, potential customers, when you're talking to potential customers, in this day and age, and Campbell, you know this, people are extremely skeptical, extremely uncertain. They've been stung by experts, especially in the online world, right? They're really been stung by all sorts of scams, etc. And they make us sick. So in their mind, they're thinking these things. And if you're in business, you need to be aware of this and be able to handle it and actually put it on the table to them and be transparent, okay? And some people, this might be tough for people to do this, but I'm going to share it anyway. First of all, they're thinking, is this believable, right? So you could say to them, hey, Campbell, obviously you might find this hard to believe. Is that right? Put it on the table. Boom, right? Be honest, be vulnerable, be transparent. Second thing they're thinking is, Campbell, can I trust you? I'm not sure, right? They're thinking that, okay? The third thing is this right for me? Oh, I'm not sure, Campbell. It sounds good, but is this right for me, right? And the last thing is, can I do this? Can I do this? Or do I really want this? Or even more important, what will people think if I buy this or do this?
Yeah,
right?
if it's a business type thing, yeah.
Right. So these are the things that are going around in people's minds. And that's why I alluded to earlier, you need to be gutsy enough to be transparent, to put them on the table and talk it through, right? Talk it through with them, because then you are empowering them to get the clarity they want to make the best decision. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. And both sets of questions or things that you've laid out there too, the way I see it is they need to be done in those steps. You need to take it in order, make an impression, don't jump the gun, and also realize that, they have to, it's the potential customer that has to move to the next level. It's not up to you to push them to it. If you don't make an impression and they walk off, well, that's done. And it's all statistics. Some will, walk away, some will go to the second, some will go to the third. And it's all about, like you said, helping them and getting to, and at each stage you're putting in more, you're giving more value as they sort of, it's almost like your own little sort of funnel, isn't it? But in that you've got steps, but it's just you, how much can I help you? Okay, you're interested in that. Okay, we'll go to the next step.
Well, yes, but they have to make the decision. You don't say, this is what we should do. Once you say this is what
come with me,
what you should do, you shot yourself in the foot, right?
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Trust me. You can trust me, right? Hallelujah.
I'm a used car salesman, trust me.
Yeah. Well, be honest with you. I was in life insurance last century, right? I've been there and done that, right?
Yeah.
I was in life insurance.
Wow.
And you know what, Campbell? I tell you something. I never knew anything about life insurance.
Yeah. Right.
Anything. I said to the people, I was a teacher before, as you may recall, I'm not sure.
Yep.
I was a teacher before and I decided to leave because they kept promoting me and I'm an administration nightmare, right? Anyway, long story short, so I tried to get a job as a life insurance agent, and everywhere I went, they all knew me as a school principal. They said, "Oh, come on, you're joking." And I thought, I can't get a job as an agent, right? Anyway, I finally got a job as an agent, and I said, "Look, do me a favor. I don't want to know anything about your product, okay? I believe in the need for protection. That's all I need to know, right? But the ins and outs of all this stuff, I want you to train these two kids who used to be my students. I'll pay for them. I'll employ them. You train them in everything they need to know about whatever it is, the premiums and all that, or whatever you've got in your product, right? And they will come with me." And so I then used to go and see my potential customer, Campbell Purvis. "Hey, Campbell, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. By the way, do me a favor. Don't ask me anything about life insurance. I haven't got a clue. I'll tell you that straight out. I haven't got a clue. But if you do, and we have a conversation together and you think there's a need for it, ask these kids here, right? Don't ask me, right?" You know what? That works with people.
Well, it takes the pressure off, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I was telling the truth because I didn't have a clue. I really. And you know what? I wasn't the slightest bit interested. Oh, I mean, it's so complicated. I mean, actuaries create all these things, and it's too hard for me. My old brain can't handle that crap, right?
No one wants to really know about that anyway. You know, like that's another thing is people just like swamp people with information, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, not really that interested." You know, I just want to know this and this.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about death.
Yeah, exactly. No, don't tell me anymore. Go away. Yes. Yeah. So there we go. Yeah. So action. So getting back to the first topic. So action. I mean, I think we've sort of come to the fact it's really about knowing, who you are, what you stand for, what your product is, but also not how do I say it? Not needing the sale, right? It's more about giving value and helping people, and really looking for the people that are going to be customers, and understanding that it's not going to be everyone. You just leave a good impression with everyone, and some will turn into customers and some won't. Some will turn into customers now, some will come back a year later or 6 months later, and you never know what it'll turn into.
Well, I teach my people to go for customers for life.
Yeah.
Right? That does not mean they are paying customers or paying customers for life. But it does mean they may be customers for a period of time, but they will continue to be advocates of yours. So they're customers for life.
Yeah.
And the only way you earn that is by creating memorable, remarkable experiences for them that are based on ethics and honesty.
Yeah.
And I know if anyone's watching this who are a sales trainer, they would be turned in their chair right now because they
ethics
would be disagreeing with everything I'm saying.
God. Yeah. They're the two unspoken words of sales.
Who are thinking that way. I've been doing this for 36 years, right? I've been doing this for 36 years, and I can tell you, I don't care how long you've been doing it, but I'm doing okay. Thank you very much. And I do it with a passion because I love it. Okay. And every conversation I have with a person is something where I can add value and create a memorable moment. And then I combine that with my mission with the kids. I mean, I'm blessed, Campbell, right? I'm blessed. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think ethics.
That's why I'm passionate.
That's what needs to be brought back. That's what's been missing, is the whole ethics part of it, and people selling stuff that's not really them and all this kind of crap. So, and people are over that. It did work for a while, and then it got less and less and worked less. And now we're at the point where there's YouTube channels with millions of subscribers, and they literally just go around and expose all these scams. So, people aren't interested in that anymore. That they can spot a salesman, salesman from 100 meters, and and no one wants to talk to them. So, yeah, I think going forward, and we're definitely going into a different world, whatever that's going to be. It's up to us to create it.
But in terms of sales, it's a better world because the customer is in control.
I agree. I think that's what's happening.
So they should be in control, right?
Yeah, it's coming back to the ethical people that have got an actual product to help people and can give value. They're the ones that are now rising to the top, and all these, sales, quick salesman, secondhand car salesman types, they're falling. No one's interested in that anymore, and so I think that's great. And that's what it should be. And whether it's you down at the Sunday market selling your apples from your apple tree, or if it's you selling a business that can help people change their financial future, it's all the same thing. It's just being asking the right questions and providing value for what they want, not interpreting what they want, asking them and then helping them is, I guess, if we want to bring it back to basics.
Asking questions based on what their previous answers were, not a script.
Yeah.
Okay. You are having a conversation with a person. You're not doing interrogation.
Definitely.
Use scripts.
Scripts make it worse though, because unless you're a certain kind of person, you're not going to, have the whole script in your head and be able to run it off. And people sit there go, and you're like, you're trying to tell me a script. Goodbye. So I think that's all. Yeah. That's all silly.
Now, to be fair and to be honourable, for people just starting off, they do need some support, and so a script can be bullet point form to give them a format of a conversation. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not, for those of you watching who are in call centres, I'm not talking about you. Yeah, you can do your thing, right? But that's transaction selling as far as I'm concerned. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm talking about decent size purchases where people need to make a big decision, not where you get on the phone as a telemarketer at 7 o'clock in the middle of someone's dinner and going blah, 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 blah. Okay. That's not what I'm on about. I treat them the way you do, Campbell. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. All right. So have you got any closing comments there on to wrap it all up?
Yeah, I've got, here's one for you.
Always got something.
Oh, I know, me. When you get to the point in a conversation, right, and I'm saying a conversation, not a presentation, right? I haven't used that word presentation at all, right? Okay, because a presentation is all you showing your solution, right? Okay, you don't show that solution until you have a conversation and you earn the right to it. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
When you get to the point in the conversation when the potential client shows interest and you feel that you can help them and you've worked with them, you've collaborated with them to clarify where they're up to right now, then if you want a simple sentence to get them to the next step, these people teach people all these closing questions, right? Mm-hmm. This is the way you get them to close the business, right? Do it this way. This is really simple, okay? When you get to that point, you simply say, Campbell, what would you like to do next? That's it. What am I doing? I'm empowering you, Campbell, to make the right decision and the next decision for where you want to go. Mm-hmm. All right?
Yeah.
And if you do that, 99 times out of 100, if you've helped them, genuinely helped them, and you've listened with compassion and ethics, and you've clarified what they're all about and understood that what they tell you at the beginning is nothing near the truth, because you've got to keep digging deeper to find out what it really is. And sometimes they don't know, right? So you're helping them clarify. You've got to help them clarify. If you've done that, right, then you simply say, well, what would you like to do next? Most of the time they're going to say, help me. What do I do? How can I do this? Peter, what can I do? And there you got a customer. But you know what? They didn't feel sold to. They feel as though you helped them. And you didn't sell to them. You genuinely served them.
Exactly.
There you go. That's my mission. That's my sermon for the day.
Serve, don't sell.
Yeah, serve, don't sell. Absolutely.
Definitely.
All right.
All right. And you've got or a YouTube channel. You mentioned you've got a Facebook page. Have you got a website as well?
Yeah.
We'll leave all the links below as well, though. If you want to send them over, we'll put all the links below so people can find you and connect up if they're interested.
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy. peterbeckham.com is my website, right?
Oh, there you go. Very nice.
And I have a YouTube channel, but not like yours, Campbell, because I've got about 900 videos on there, but not very many people watch me, so I'm getting a bit lonely. But to find it, it's really easy too. It's peterbeckham.com/YouTube. That's pretty easy, right? Because I can't remember all the numbers.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. And Peter Beckham on Facebook, but we'll leave the links below. So yeah, guys.
Yeah.
If you're, looking at starting something, if you're in something, if you need a bit of help, definitely check out Peter. Well, you can see what kind of a person he is just from the interview. Definitely someone who's out there to help and empower people. So check him out. And thank you for your time today, Peter.
Thank you, Campbell. Lovely to talk to you, my man.
Awesome. We'll talk soon. Cheers, mate. Have a good one.
Okay.